We deserve death and eternal separation. We deserve the removal of God's presence from us, for the wages of sin is death, and all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. But look at what Asaph says in verses 70 through 72. Despite of all of this, he chose David his servant and took him from the sheepfolds. From following the nursing ewes, he brought him to shepherd Jacob his people, Israel his inheritance. With an upright heart he shepherded them and guided them with his skillful hand. You see, the Lord's answer to Israel's rejection was to bring in King David. King David restored the presence. King David restored worship. King David restored God to his people, because David was a man after God's own heart. But our great gift is the greater David who come to restore a greater presence to his people. Jesus came and he brings us into the sanctuary of God, not to see a box, but to live in his world where his presence fills it and testifies to it. Jesus is the greater gift from God. Let your children know the weight of your sin and the grace of God through the sacrifice of his Son. This is what they need to know. Jesus gives us access to God where our sin gave us isolation from God. Jesus takes away the sins of the world. Jesus died so that we may have life. Jesus was cast off so that we may be brought near. He was crushed so that we may be lifted up. Jesus was persecuted so that we may be loved. Jesus was crucified so that we may have life and life to the fullest. Preach to your children the beauty of Jesus. Preach to your children the gift of God. And pray that God strikes your heart in such a way with the mallet of Christ that we just ring like a gong throughout the world. That what we have been struck by resonates through everything that we do to show the glory of the one who has struck us.